Hi, this is Jeff Pospisil, the 10-Minute Treasurer with practical advice for improving your church's financial future. In this video, we're going to talk about accepting gifts of stock. Some church treasurers that I've talked to, they say, well, we don't have any rich people. We don't have anybody that would donate stock. And guess what? If you think that way, you are discouraging those gifts because regular people have stock. I saw a recent stat that said up to 45% of American families have stock. That's quite a bit. Chances are, unless you're an unusual church, you have people that own stock or mutual funds, shares, or whatever else, and they may want to give stock. So, why would anybody want to give stock versus maybe just cashing it in and giving the proceeds to the church? Well, simple. The tax code makes this a wise way to do it. By the tax code, if you sell it, you got to recognize the gains. And why do you hold stock? Because you want gains. So if you sell it, you have to recognize the gains, and then but if you give it, you get to avoid those capital gains taxes, and you get full credit for what the value of the stock is at the time you give it away. So it's really a good benefit. If you're already inclined to give anyway, you can give the max benefit and have the max tax benefit from it as well. You can give the max benefit to the church, max tax benefit for the donor. I mean, it's a win-win. It just makes a ton of sense. So the first thing to know about accepting stock gifts is you need a vehicle to do it, and the vehicle is a brokerage account. Whether it's Edward Jones or Charles Schwab, or I don't even know. There's a ton of them. I used to have a Piper Jaffray account. I don't even know if they exist anymore. But anyway, to have some vehicle to accept it, a brokerage account. And if you don't have a brokerage account, or maybe you do, but the Dakota's United Methodist Foundation, or whoever the foundation is that you work with, chances are they could facilitate it. I know the Dakota's United Methodist Foundation, they facilitate it and they don't charge any fees. So, I mean, that's a great option. And a lot of times, so that's what you need. And it's almost like even when you make a donation electronically from your bank account to the church's bank account, they'll have all that information that'll be shared is, all that and I don't even know exactly how that works, but they share whatever information they need to change the ownership from your name to the name of the charity and put it in possession of the charity. The next thing I want to say is a lot of times you should just have it as your default policy to sell as soon as you receive a stock gift. You hate to get in the speculation business. Holding on to a stock gift can cause troubles. I know you can sell low, but guess what? It's better just to make that your default policy. You get it, you sell it. So you instruct your brokerage account, or maybe it's the foundation, to just sell it and send you a check as soon as they sell it. That's probably the best way to do it. And then the last thing you need to think about is how do you acknowledge that gift? So you need to acknowledge the date of the gift, so the date that it was received by the foundation or the brokerage account, the date that it was received, that's important. A description of that gift. So you actually should say, this is how many shares I received of this share, and here's the symbol. In some companies, they'll have like an A and a B stock, or a common and a preferred stock. So you want to be pretty specific there. I received 20 shares of Berkshire Hathaway Class B stock, and here's the stock symbol for that. That's the kind of thing that you want to have. Make sure it's very clear about what the description of the gift is. You always need that IRS language in the gift acknowledgement that says no goods or services other than intangible religious benefits were received by the donor. That you just always have to have that to be in compliance with the IRS. And then the last thing is, and I kind of got this cut off by my video picture here, is don't value the gift. Don't value the gift. You can put the high and low for the stock, but guess what? If you start getting into that habit of valuing non-cash gifts, you're going to probably get yourself in trouble. You may accidentally mislead the donor because I think you use the average of the high and the low for valuing the stock gift of the date of the sale or the transfer. But guess what? If they change that rule, will you know enough to not mislead the donor on that? I mean, even if you get a check from the foundation or your brokerage account for this amount, that may not be the IRS amount that they are allowed to claim as a charitable contribution. So that's why I don't value it. I mean, I might you're giving them the number of shares. You can give them the high and low for the day that it's sold or transferred if you want, but don't value it. That gets into a slippery slope. And the most important thing is to thank them. Thank them. I mean, that's something that should be a no-brainer, but so many times it's forgotten. Make sure you thank them um, in a personal way. That thank them for their gift because that it is a really good gift. Right. This is another short video, but it's um, again part of the Ministry of the Finance Office of the Dakotas United Methodist Conference and the Dakotas United Methodist Foundation. For more resources, you can find them at www.dakotasumc.org. And also, I want to encourage you, if you want to like and subscribe this, that maybe it'll show up in your YouTube feed more often. And the other thing too is if you want email notifications, go to jctaccounting.com and go ahead and enter your email address and subscribe there. And then you'll get a weekly update whenever something new comes out, you'll get an update. And all right, and this is about Jesus, mission, and connection. So I'll see you next week.